You know, what do you guys think about the first Black Panther? So when I assessed it, right, I looked at Killmonger. Killmonger represented so-called Black Americans, right? He was the villain. He was demonized. It later, once it matured and got to the end, you realized that his outlook was righteous, right, and what he was trying to do, right? Obviously, T'Challa was African, right? He was the hero, right? And I'm trying to understand, like, was that a representation of like how we're seen versus how the Africans are seen, and did they do that shit on purpose?
Definitely.
You know, what you think, Illa?
I mean, I think they do, but I think it's a message, and there's a hero and villain in both sides. It's all about the perception of the person that's watching it. You know what I'm saying? Because T'Challa had a point and Killmonger had a point. Like they both had similar views. You know, they went about it different ways. So the people, unfortunately, the people that watch it, they pick sides. But if you just get past that, you can see look at Magneto and Professor X. Look at Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. They both have two different outlooks about going towards the same goal, but the goal is liberation. The goal is our people first. Just T'Challa was just going about it in a more diplomatic way because he was still in tune with his culture. He still was a part of Wakanda, just like Africans. They go through the same thing we go through. They go through similar things in America, but they're in Africa. They have a nationality. They understand their culture. They are more directly connected to their lineage. But in America, we're still trying to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, they don't really know where they're from. They can't tell you what tribe they're from. They just know they may be from Africa, but they don't know where. So T'Challa, Killmonger represented that lack of knowledge. So that anger is more prevalent in the American experience because they don't know. You know what I'm saying? The African at least know, okay, my mom is Zulu or my father's not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one knows more about themselves than the other. So that's why the anger is so prevalent. But I feel like it's just always somebody trying to divide us. You know what I mean? They sold us Africans with flowers on their face, and they sold Africans drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? So we both were sold the lowest expression of each other. So there's always some propaganda involved.
Okay. CT was popping.
Oh man,
What you think, man?
about the movie Black Panther?
What you think about my synopsis? What I took from it? What
I don't know, man.
Killmonger represented? Because we might be able to see what Illa said, but I would argue that the majority of people who watched it didn't. They see him as a villain regardless.
You want to know what I really think, man?
Yes, I would.
My interpretation of the movie, and by the way, it's nothing more than just a science fiction. My interpretation of the movie was the idiocy of showing Wakanda as this hyper sophisticated nation state. I think Killmonger represented the reality of the black, and I think Wakanda represents this imaginary fairy tale land that never existed, that will never exist with blacks. At least in our lifetime, it would never exist. That's what I really got from the movie. Like every time I saw a scene of Wakanda, I said, what the hell is going on here? Why are we lying to ourselves? And I think the movie even though it's a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I still looked at it as this big lie, and I felt like, again, like Killmonger brought me back to reality because he was from the States. That's what I got from it. That's just what I got from it, Hamp. You did ask me. So
I asked you. Now, what do you? Why is okay? Wakanda would be a dream for any nation or country or people, right?
No,
Does
we have
Japan
that right now.
look like Wakanda?
Yeah, Japan. You could even argue China, even though China's a dumpster fire.
Come
You
on.
could argue China. You can argue. Oh my God, you can argue.
Who else?
I'm sorry. I'm going to go on mute because already I'm being cut off.
Nobody said nothing. Nobody said shit.
Here goes the thing. Most Western European countries look like Wakanda. Wakanda had rocket technology. Rocket technology, that's 100 years old. Most nations have already had that. Still have it. But you have countries right now that are dibbling and dabbling in fission technology right now.
Okay.
So So what I saw in Wakanda was already what the white man and some Asians already have. Some Orientals, I mean. So
Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, bro. What the fuck is you
sir,
talking about?
sir, not yet, not yet. No, no, no,
Hold
no,
on,
no,
hold
no,
on, Illa, hold on, Illa,
no, no,
hold on,
Oh,
Illa,
no,
hold on,
no,
Illa.
no, not right now. No.
Hold
This
on,
man
oh,
Illa,
has
hold
asked,
on, hold on, hold
this
on.
man has asked me a question, and I patiently waited while you were speaking. I'm not up for questions. This
are
is
you
what
right?
I.
Are you
This
right?
is
You just
this
said
He's
is
some
saying you're
bullshit.
right. All
this
right, cool.
facts.
Go ahead, Kate.
This is facts.
You ain't saying shit.
Wakanda show what already the European already has, and that is just a fact. I'm done talking.
Go ahead,
Real
Illa.
talk. Real talk.
Go ahead, Illa, and then I'll get everybody
I'm
else.
sorry. I apologize. But you said a bunch of fucking bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't take. I already know you about to say bullshit all night, so I ain't even. You don't. You just a face. So we just gonna get to the bullshit first. For any fucking black man to sit here and be mad that a work of fiction made black people look good, it's fiction, bro. It's supposed to inspire you. You think everything the white man said about himself is based on a fucking fact? He'll make a movie of him as a pharaoh. He'll make a movie of him as your ass. It's called entertainment. He projects images that's not actually real into the world that he never did. And for you to sit here and say that shit, like with this, I mean, I don't have a problem with Trump. But you came on here with your fucking Trump hat and you're gonna sit here and tell black people that that's stupid. Who the fuck you think taught the European how to speak? Like, what do you know about history? Europe was 99.9%
Gotta put him in
illiterate
the
until
box.
we came. Like,
Oh,
that's a
shit.
fact. So we ain't even got to fast forward to Wakanda. What do you know about history, brother? How do you think the European got into knowledge, brother? Who taught the European how to read and write? I'm asking you a question. Who taught him that?
You may I answer?
Yeah.
I would assume that the European developed language like every other human being on the planet. It started off with click clacks. It started off with drawing on the ground during hunter gatherer or during the hunter
Hieroglyphic.
gatherer stage of mankind, and it eventually evolved independently into a language.
Right.
The European languages, you have the Indo-European languages that consist of Latin and Greek, et cetera, et cetera. They may have evolved from again simple click clack languages or drawing on a cave somewhere. That's probably where it came from. This myth that the black man has taught everybody everything, I don't see it. It's not evident, and it's actually appalling that black people lay claim to almost everything, including air. But the fact of the matter is that if the black man taught the white man all this, why hasn't the African or the black American developed for himself? I don't get it. I
Exactly.
mean,
Okay.
oh,
So you didn't. So basically, you used two words. You said I assume, which means you don't fucking know. Two, you said another. You said another word. You never really defined it. You're assume, and you said I feel and I assume. So in other words, that was a real fancy, articulated way of saying you don't know. So it didn't just come from click clacking. That's not. We're not just making that up. It's not saying that black people are everything. The word human means color, man. So the original human was the colored person. So it's not like it's an African thing. It's really just science. The original human being was a colored person, whether it was in Europe, whether it was in Australia. The original phenotype for a being was just a person of color. That's just a historical fact. So you don't know. Europe was 99.9% illiterate. They didn't know how to read. They didn't know how to write. When Africa was already an advanced society, these people were eating rotting flesh and wearing the same clothes their whole life. And I have literature literally right to me that can prove that. So we don't have to just speak from my mind and what I assume and what I feel. But it's not about putting everything on black people because only one race is the human race. But just to hear black people say the ignorant stuff you have with really no literature to back it up, it's just really offensive, bro. Because it's not even about being racist against white people. Because there's good people in all races. It's good people it's good Asian people. It's good African people. It's good people everywhere. But at least speak from a place of factual information. Because and as far as African black people in America, black people invented damn near everything in this country, bro. Most of the inventions come from Africa. Like these are not opinions; these are just historical facts. So how can you? When you think the Renaissance era? Are you familiar with the Renaissance era and how it was created, sir?
yes, I
Yeah.
How it
am.
was created? Who started the
Fucking
Renaissance?
Renaissance,
communists.
So the Renaissance era, I know exactly what you're talking about, was the reemergence of classical Roman architecture, sir. I know all about I know a lot about.
You don't know what the
Oh,
fuck
okay,
you're
you
talking
tell me. So it wasn't the reemergence in the 14th,
about. The
15th,
Renaissance era, it wasn't a reemergence.
the reemergence of the European that was his building styles were his architectural styles were in the we're trying to pretty much mimic ancient Greece and ancient Rome. That's not the Renaissance period, right? Okay. You're right. You're right. Anything else, sir, that you can correct me on? Go ahead.
The Renaissance era is when the Moors came to Europe and taught them art and literature. The original Greeks with the Etruscans. You know what I'm saying? So these. I don't know what the hell y'all be talking about. I don't know where y'all be getting y'all information from, but it's just real sad because it's such a subgroup. It's just because black people have gone through things. You can't remove the things they actually accomplished. We all know our people got a lot of issues. We all know we've fallen short in a lot of ways. But it wasn't always like that. So to see people just totally just throw the whole race out because of a certain bad apples, it's just crazy, man. It's still your people, bro. Like European people don't do stuff like this. They're not gonna take the lowest part of our people and let them just convince the whole world the whole race is done because there's a couple undesirables. It's very weak. It's not masculine. It's some real bitch ass nigga shit. But I digress.
Can I ask you a question? Did black people invent homosexuality as well? Did we invent gay butt sex? Hold on, let me ask you a question. Did we invent gay butt sex too? Since we invented everything, did we invent that too?
I never said we
Yes
invented
or no?
everything.
Did we invent that? Just because we invent everything, right? So did we invent gay butt sex?
Who's
Did we invent
historic?
did we invent pedophilia then too? Because we invent so many
Who
things.
is historic?
We're the first. If we're the first people to do everything, so surely we're the first people to do those things, right? You're
Probably
great.
was, but we never
Okay.
venerated. Hold on.
Okay.
We probably was the first people to do everything. But listen, did we ever venerate homosexuality as the epitome of our culture? We've never done that. Now, just because you have somebody in your community that does something bad, that doesn't mean you make that the face of your culture. The face of African culture has always been man and woman and child. That's always been what we push to the world. We never pushed homosexuality to the world. Does that mean it wasn't gay people in the community? No, it don't mean that. We just never took that and said, this is our thing. This is what we do. We've never done that. You can go to Egypt right now and see statues of men and women. Like we always venerated man and woman. That was always our culture. But it's funny that you said that because the Europeans that you love so much, they was always into it.
You love the European too, sir. Well,
I got a question.
Let them finish. They got another couple minutes, then we'll get back in.
You love the European just as much as I do, sir. You're
I
sitting
said I
in
love everybody.
You're wearing his hat. I'm pretty sure you got a Maserati outside, sir. Everything
I said
about
I love everybody. I don't hate anybody.
You're speaking to white man. You love the
I
white man.
hate ignorance.
You made it personal by saying I love the
You
European.
made
European.
it personal by saying what that's something.
I made it personal to you. I wasn't even speaking to you.
Bro, you made it real personal.
I didn't make anything.
Sorry.
You were talking. Hold on for a second. You were talking. Let me talk. I didn't make anything personal to you. Now,
No, not to me. I take ignorance personally.
You're telling me who my people are. My people are my mother and father. You black asses don't give a fuck about me, sir. Are you kidding me?
That type of
Sir,
shit.
when you were speaking, I may have been making faces, but I was not talking. Sir, miss me with the romanticism of black culture, African culture, with this we are one, we are a family, blah, blah, blah. The black man has never been unified. When the white man came into Africa, it was thousands of languages. Just right now, it's thousands of languages right now because the African is too goddamn ignorant to have a unified language. So the fact of the matter is, sir, is that you're using language that women would definitely use and feel something about. The fact that you said that we're one people, sir, I'm not people with you, sir. My people are my mother and father, people who love me unconditionally. You niggas, stop, sir. When you were speaking, I was silent. Now, again, I was making faces, but I was silent. The fact of the matter is, sir, is that you are an individual, sir. You don't know how your computer works. You don't know how pretty much everything in this reality works. The black man doesn't control any industry here in America or in Africa. I will admit the black American is on top in terms of the African diaspora. But, sir, you have no idea what you're talking about when you're saying that the African introduced all these technologies into Europe. But for some reason, Africa was always underdeveloped. But let me guess, right? The weak-ass European somehow came in and destroyed everything from the sophisticated African, right? So we had structures over 50 stories high in ancient Africa, sir. But somehow the illiterate European came in and conquered us. That doesn't make any goddamn sense, sir. The European has kingdoms going back and civilization going back tens of thousands of years, sir. And the fact of the matter is, sir, if it wasn't for the European, you and everybody on this goddamn panel will be speaking click-clack languages with a plate in your lip. Go ahead, sir.
All right, last rebuttal. Last rebuttal, then we moving on.
Y'all be finding, I don't know where y'all be finding these fucking weird ass people. Like, I don't like. That's why I'm getting away from this type of shit, because the stuff y'all be saying on these panels, bro. Like, I know you're not really from no real place, and you're right. You'll never be my people, because where I'm from, we beat people up that be talking that dumb shit you talking. You wouldn't even be able to come outside.
Typical violent black man.
Typical violent. I was getting wedgies and thrown in the dumpster and all that shit. So I know you like. I know you mad at black people. I know you is, bro. So I get it, my nigga. But I'm gonna say this though. Man. What you just said was so historically inaccurate, and the fact that you just because you speak with a certain cadence and a certain European tone of voice, that doesn't mean what you're saying makes sense. And just because I might stutter sometimes and I might jumble on my words, that don't mean I don't know what I'm talking about. The European, everybody that looks European is not even European. See, when you understand history, you know how they got into power. See, if I got $1 million and you don't, and I'm married into your family, and you kill me off, you still are heir to what I have. But that don't mean you are the original blood of that. That's why most blue bloods in Europe, they say what? They are blue bloods because they can trace their blood back to Europe. Back to Egypt. So they're not even as European as you think, because you don't study history. So you don't know how far this thing actually goes. Most of us do not have the intellectual patience to really read about more than just what we know recently. Like, you haven't let me ask you this. Can you give us? I want to give a rebuttal too, Hamp. Go ahead.
All right, and then we moving on to everybody else, right?
Can you give us some literature that can support your sentiments?
No, I don't have literature, sir. I have eyes. I can open my eyes and see.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so to the people that's watching right now,
what's your literature?
Don't listen to nobody. If they can't give you no literature that can point you in a direction where you can learn for yourself, please don't listen to these people, because he ain't give us. I can give you some literature. I can give you some books right now. He doesn't have any, so he's just talking from a perspective. He doesn't have anything to back that up. He's just talking. But y'all go ahead. I don't want to take over. Y'all
Ham, can I give one last rebuttal, Ham?
Yeah, one last rebuttal, and then we'll move on.
Well, I want people once again to see what happened here. I gave my opinion. This gentleman became upset and offended to the point where he had to talk to me. Now, he sat there. He was the first one to speak. I could give a fuck. He could say a dinosaur was outside. I could give a fuck what he's saying. He gave his opinion. I gave mine. Because he can't name me any industry currently, because he can't name me any systems, because he can't name me any African nation that looks like Wakanda, he gets mad and resorts back to what typical black men do: violence. This is exactly why.
I just said you the type.
You said growing up, I got wedgies. You said growing up, you don't see. And that just further proves the violence of the savage.
It proves that everybody don't deserve to talk, and some motherfuckers like the fuck out the way.
Hold on, Illa, let him finish. Let him finish, Illa.
This further proves that this further proves, in my opinion, why the black man, whether he's an African, whether he's a Caribbean, or whether he's in America, he is so close, he is so related to the primal stages that he will resort back to violence. Because unlike the white man, who is typically sophisticated, who could typically use discourse, he says, "Oh, that you got beat up, you got bullied." Doesn't know anything about me. Doesn't know anything about what happened when I was a kid or not.
You don't know nothing about me. That's just how you
I'm
come
not making any attack story. Can I talk?
Yeah. How long is your rebuttal? Y'all going back and forth.
I can't believe this. When he's talking, I'm quiet.
All right, go ahead. Finish.
He's saying I'm coming off as a weirdo. How am I coming off as a weirdo? I speak good English. I'm wearing a blazer. How, sir? You mean to say
I speak good English? I'm wearing a blazer? Like,
Ham, can I talk about him? Ham, I'll never cut him off.
Illa, let him finish, Illa. Go ahead,
So-
finish, chaotic, so everybody else can talk.
Hold on for a second. So this weirdo who's a part of the largest and greatest black fraternity in the planet, this weirdo who was a teacher, this weirdo who's worked in law enforcement, this weirdo who was a community member. I've never done any crimes, never done this and that. I'm a weirdo. And this is exactly why. See, in the white race, I will be respected.
What tomato is this?
Man. Yo, hurry up and finish, CT. Go ahead, man.
You think he's cutting me off because
All right, go ahead. I'm a mute Illa. I'm a mute him. I'm a mute him. Go ahead, CT. I'm a mute him. Golly.
Prove me. Fuck this book shit. This Francis Cress Welsing and Naeem Akbar. Trust me, so I have an African bullshit study. All that shit. Sir, prove to me right now in industry, steel, oil, energy. Prove to me right now what the fuck the African is. The black man, the African is so fucking unified. Prove to me right now in the fucking street what the black man controls and operates. And I'm done with that, Ham. Thank you so much, sir. No. Let's move on, Ham. Let's move on.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. I am going to make sure that clip of those two gentlemen having a discourse is out in the morning, so you can have that to assess in it by itself. You know what I mean?
Can you block that person with the rainbow? They said I look like Viola Davis.
A friend to tell a friend, and we out.